Hey everyone, it's Super Saiyan Majin Slayer again, and here I have another Duel book replay for you guys. We are going to have Franco Persano, pretty well-known fan and I player. If you guys have seen him on the DB Grinders channels, he's been playing a lot of money matches. Post-bow this format using Phantom Knights and recently won an LCS 3v3 with his team. And then we have Madison Beer for his opponent, 1717 rating, and Franco has 1486 rating. And remember to go ahead and check out the July_TCG Discord server. It's a place where I mostly like to hang out at. Good place to do some play testing, remote duels, dueling book duels, get opinions on your deck list, not just fan night related, but can be other decks too. Just overall, really nice place to hang out. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this replay. See tie right here. We're going to go ahead and see Madison Beer win the RPS. So you're going to go ahead and see 40 versus 40. And then opening hands, we have Ancient Cloak, Gamma, Nibiru, Danger Snake, and Boots. Interesting that he's deciding to main deck Gamma. I understand the premise for it though, because I personally side deck it. And have had experience with side decking it before in the past. But it is a really high impact hand trap right now that really no deck can really run right now outside of like the main popular decks. Like D-Link can probably still run this card. They're the deck most known for running the card. Dinos as well, but you know, Dinos kind of just fell off into like the rogue category after Mist got hit. But interesting that he's main decking it though. I just personally feel like it's a little bit awkward to main deck, especially if you win the RPS, because Fan Knights don't really do anything that really warrants an early Ash Blossom. Like maybe a standby phase Lancia, but most times your opponent's just going to hold the Lancia until you commit some monsters into the graveyard, and by that point you already have monsters on the field. But I wonder how it's been working out for him. But maybe we'll see if I get some more replays featuring Franco. But now we have Alistair, Invocation, Ecclesia, Pot of Prosperity, and Terraforming. So Franco has 2 going second cards, and meanwhile his opponent just has full engine. So yeah, really lucky they won the dice roll there. But unfortunately, Nibiru isn't that high impact against the Invoked matchup. Let's start off with Ali the Star. I'm going to gamma that right away. Basically put them on that they better have Invocation. I'm going to go ahead and add the Meltdown. Meltdown effect, go ahead and search, add Ali the Star. Go ahead, Invocation. Invocations is going to go ahead and use the Ali the Star as well as the Ecclesia to go into the Macabre. Pot of Prosperity now. Then go ahead and mill 6. We can see the Prosperity, Droplet, Maximus, Fusion Destiny, and Meltdown. And then the Nibiru. Go ahead and grab the Fusion Destiny there. And go ahead, Invocation effect, shuffle into the deck, add back Ali the Star. Go ahead, Fusion Destiny, dump the bricks, go ahead, bring out the Phoenix Enforcer, end phase, the Gamma package gets banished, top decks into a junk forward on for the Fan Knight player's side. Go ahead, special summon out the junk forward, so he pretty much has to play through non-targeting pop and the Macabre negate, and unfortunately he doesn't have anything to set, like a Speller Trap to go ahead and play around. You destroy Phoenix Enforcer, popping the Cherubini. But he does have the ability to go into the Cherubini without committing his normal summon though. This is because he's going to go ahead and use the Danger effect. Danger effect can go ahead and it's going to end up discarding the Ancient Cloak. Not a bad discard. But he draws into a Gamma though, which is dead because he already used the 1-0 driver in the deck. That's banished. And then on summon, you're going to decide to go ahead DPE effects. Blow itself up, and the Cherubini. Now, Ancient Cloak effect. Deciding if he wants to negate this or not. Looks like he doesn't. He just doesn't want to be punished in case if there's another Phantom Knight monster in hand and he already has a generic extender. which is fair. You gotta use normal summon out torrent scales. Was what he added off of the cloak, special summon out the boots. Go ahead, overlay those two, go into break sword effect, try to pop the Macabre, then Macabre negate. Then boots its graveyard as long as torrent scales. Go to boots effect, add the Pog Blade. Then torrent scales effect, go ahead to summon itself out. Then torrent scales effect, go ahead discard the Fog Blade, goes your search off of boots. Go ahead dump the Ancient Cloak. Fog Blade, go ahead bring out the Ancient Cloak. Overlay those two, go into a break sword effect, go ahead target itself and the Macabre. Yeah, really nice about how break sword, it was kind of made in like early, when did this card even come out? I think it was like 2015, 2016-ish, I believe was when Arc V anime occurred. And this is still like in the era of cards where it wasn't out of like the realm of like how should I phrase this? It wasn't like too obscure that a card wasn't a hard once per turn back in those days. I think literally right around that era they started making some cards hard once per turns though. Such as the Ancient Cloak effect being a hard once per turn, the gloves, and the other Famnight monsters. But you can go ahead, bring those two back, go into a Verte Anaconda. Verte Anaconda effect, dump the Fusion Destiny. Go ahead, dump the bricks. Bring out the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Go ahead, attack, some damage. End phase. I think he wants to pop the Verte Anaconda. Verte Anaconda on the Enforcer, sorry. Yawned right there for a second. We're on Dasher effect and draw phase. Bring out the Ecclesia effect. Go ahead, search out the Maximus. Go ahead, standby phase, Enforcers come back. It's like they're thinking in standby phase. Oh, goes into main phase. Maximus switches himself out by banishing the Macabre. Then battle phase, go ahead, try to poke into the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Phoenix Enforcer effect, chain Phoenix Enforcer. Just go ahead and get rid of the field spell and the Phoenix Enforcer. Graveyard effects. Go ahead, attack for damage. Normal summon Alistair effects. Go ahead, add Invocation. The Maximus effect, go ahead, get rid of extra deck. So Franco decides to get rid of the Dagda and the Spider. Okay. So it chooses to keep the Dagda in the main extra deck as opposed to maybe putting in the side deck is what I've also seen some builds run. I think there was like a build from like Dodger Wolf who like to keep it in the side deck. I think that was actually got top 16 in the LCS, PAX LCS rather. But it was basically he neck deck Dodger Wolf's build though. Well, we're gonna go ahead and see Cyframe Omega effects. Omega, put back the Enforcer. Then Celestial effects. Go ahead and draws into an Ash Blossom and a Nibiru. Wow, so if Franco stood any chance at maybe top decking like a spell trap removal and then trying to play through the Phoenix Enforcer pop, well now like he really limits on what he can do right now. And yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and admit defeat right there. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to game 2. We're gonna see the Famnight player open up with Second Tracker, Ragged Gloves, Boots, Leather Gloves, and Lancia. So opens up double gloves. I've seen his deck list before, what you used for the LCS. He didn't run double gloves. I've actually personally been testing double Ragged Gloves in my deck list build after I cut Tour Guide for about a couple weeks now. And I've actually been using double gloves and it's been working out really good in my personal opinion if you decide to go with the build that's not using Tour Guide. Because if you guys know me from July_TCG's YouTube channel, then you would know that the one card Tour Guide combo that nets you an Appaloosa, Rusty, and a Verte Anaconda all while playing around Nibiru the other line of play for that combo is also just a ragged gloves plus any generic extender. That also just nets you the Appaloosa, Rusty, and the Verte combo. I'll leave a link to that collab in the description below. It was something we made together over the summer, back when the deck was still Rogue. But I really like the double ragged gloves theory. It's something that I've really only seen Digihero X do. You guys know who he is. He had a recent regional top that if you guys might have known him from July_TCG's YouTube channel. But yeah, he also occasionally plays Phantom Knights, and I've been using his double ragged gloves theory, and I'm really liking it a lot because ragged gloves just floats as any extender, but it does suck when you open in combination with like maybe an ancient cloak or another copy of itself, and you don't have any other extenders. But it looks like Franco got lucky, and he does have extenders to work with. And then a little bit off topic there, sorry, but still related to the video. Then we have Droplet, Pot of Prosperity, Ecclesia, Alistair, and Maximus. So only one going second card in the form of droplets, but really no form of interruption for Franco. Could go ahead and normal summon out gloves, special summon out boots. Go ahead and turn those into a Cherubini. Cherubini effect. Go ahead, dump grass, special summon out Seer. Go ahead and special summon out the second tracker. Go ahead, turn Cherubini and Seer into Rusty. Bring back the Cherubini with the Seer effect, Rusty effects. Go ahead and dump Torn Scales, set a Pog Blade. Go ahead and use Boots effects. Go ahead and search out a Pog Blade. Torn Scales effect to revive itself. Yeah, so he's not too worried about Nibiru since he does have the realistically, you can play around Nibiru a little bit better by setting the Shade Brigandine off of Rusty, and then just turning the Cherubini, Psychic Tracker, and the Shade Brigandine into an Appaloosa. But realistically, he has ways to play around that since he does have the Pog Blade in hand, and also he has the gloves where in case if he were to get Nibiru'd in this situation, Torn Scales getting banished isn't really that bad since you can just use the gloves and take it out for Torn Scales to get it back into rotation. Torn Scales effect, discard the Ragged Gloves. Go ahead, dump a Wings. And overlay Torn Scales Psychic into Levier. Levier, bring back the Boots. Turn all those into the Appaloosa. Ragged Gloves effect, take itself out for a Fog Blade. Then use Fog Blade, bring back out Gloves. Wings, bring out the Boots. So trying to play around the DD Crow there by not reviving back the Torn Scales. Then to go ahead and Rusty effect, pop the Break Sword. I mean, he's playing around DD Crow anyway with the Appaloosa, but maybe into like a chain link to Nibiru, or in response to Appaloosa, chain Nibiru. But he's going to go from the Break Sword into the Verte Anaconda effects. Go ahead, pay 2k. Dump the Fusion Destiny package from the Phoenix Enforcer. So it ends on double Fog Blade, the Phoenix Enforcer, and then good follow-up with the Twin Scales, Gloves, and the Boots, as well as the Break Sword pop. And looks like he wants to go ahead and use Phoenix Enforcer effect to go and pop the Verte Anaconda and free up that zone. So that way, once the Fog Blades follow up, he has the zone open to use the Break Sword pop disruption with Rusty. And looks like you're going to go ahead and top deck into an Imperm. And then standby phase, he's going to go ahead and shotgun the Lancia, trying to play around any pop cards. We're just going to go ahead and see the Invoked players go ahead and admit defeat, realizing that he just can't play through an Appaloosa, DPE, and then the pop with Break Sword and the Fog Blades. Alright, moving on to game 3. We are going to go ahead and see that player open up with Tracker, Twin Scales, Rhoda, Lancia, and Celestial. So no going, well actually one going second card in the form of Lancia. And then we have Maximus, Ecclesia, TCBU, Terraforming, and Invocation for the Invoked player side. So really strong going first card. pretty decent against Famine Knights because you put Famine Knights on having generic extenders as opposed to the Famine Knight cards and the jump forward. It's one of the reasons why you see some lists just play Terror Top when they attack a Tom board. It's a way to play around TC Boo and just gives you another generic extender that's not Warrior to do so. Another reason why people have been cutting Karamuchi Knight as well from their lists, because it's really bad for the Sword Soul matchup and then just really isn't that good against TC Boo. Again, use Terraforming here. Terraforming, so go ahead and add the Magical Meltdown. Magical Meltdown. I'm going to go ahead and search Ally the Star. Normal Summon Ally the Star effects. I'm going to go ahead and add Invocation. Already hard open the Invocation there. I'm going to go ahead and go for an Almirage. Go ahead and go for the Ecclesia effects. Summon itself out. Go for a verte Anaconda here. Then go ahead and bring out Maximus. Invocation effect, Chain Lancia. So we saw last game he shotgunned the Lancia in standby phase, but it looks like this time around that he wants the Invoked player to commit more to the field before shotgunning it. I mean, even if he did top deck into something like maybe a Gamma, he had the appaloosa to negate set Gamma. And I'm going to bring out the Enforcer here. The Maximus effect, go ahead, dump the App Cologne, dump the Ash Dragon. Then I'm going to go ahead, dump the Link Spider, the Dagda. Go ahead, search out the Schism. Discard the Invocation. Set the Schism and the TC Boo. End phase, Ash Dragon effect. Go ahead, add the Knight and Straight Phoenix Enforcer pop itself and the Verte DPE effects. Then the Straight Phoenix Enforcer in standby, and they just go ahead with here top decking into an Ash, which could have been pretty useful to go ahead and negate the Meltdown. We're going to go ahead and see Invoked win 2-1 there. Invoked is honestly, I think it's a worser matchup than Sword Soul. Like, everyone complains about how strong Sword Soul is and how like they call Protos, it really wrecks Famine Knights. But I honestly think the like Invoked Shaddoll, granted you don't really see the Shaddoll variant that much right now, but the Invoked matchup, like in general, is the worst matchup for Famine Knights in my personal opinion still, because when they go for Protos, they usually leave themselves open with like little follow-up once they commit to it. And so, you open up your generic extenders, you're still good. You just go into like, maybe you open up like a jump forward, a Psychics, or one of your, or some E-Tellies. You go into Leviair, then you go ahead poke, go into like your Zeus, then try to maybe turtle up on like some Fog Blades, Imperms, or some Droplets. You just really have to hand trap the Sword Soul matchup pretty hard. I feel like the Invoked matchup is a lot more harder just because you really need to draw until you're spelling Trap Hate due to the fact that they're sending in stuff like TC Boo against you. They're going to have their Schisms ready for you. And I see like a lot of Fan Knight players, they like to side deck Lightning Storm, which I feel isn't correct because, yeah, you Lightning Storm away the TC Boo, but what are you going to go ahead and do once they go ahead and change Schism, because you only activate the Lightning Storm in the main phase, it's the normal spell. So, I don't know, that's just my personal kind of gist as to why I still prefer Twin Twisters, in my personal opinion, just for this matchup especially since it's like your worst matchup possible. But, we did see Franco try to push through game 1 with the Torn Scales and using its Graveyard Recursion. Unfortunately, the Invoked player just had much more better follow-up than him with the Celestial +2 draw, as well as the Recursion with the Alistair. He had it back with the Invocation. But it is what it is. It is a little bit like a dice roll matchup. Not as dice rolly as Drytron. It's up there, I would say. But you really have to open up good going second cards, such as a combination of like Ash Blossoms, Gammas, Drolls and then spell and trap removal as well to deal with their floodgates like Mystic Mines or TC Boos. But that's kind of just my analysis on the matchup, and I hope this video helped you guys understand better about the matchup. If it did, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Remember to go ahead and check out the July_TCG Discord down below in the description. And yeah, hope you guys have a nice day. Peace.